Ready to expand? Let's go. So today we're going to talk about self-care, self-love, and soul love. And I want to ask you an honest question because most people lie to themselves when they answer this question. My biggest question is, how much do you actually love yourself, right? How much do you love that person inside of you? Not how much you claim to love yourself, not how much you post about self-love or self-care or soul care, not how much you tell people that you take care of yourself, but honestly, truly, genuinely, how much do you pour into you? So to me, this is how much self-care I used to give myself. Just a little portion, a small portion, a little rest when I burned out myself, a little sleep when I collapsed or something like that, a little breath after I pushed myself, of course, past my limits. But that is how much self-care I used to give myself. But self-care wasn't literally the problem. It wasn't the whole picture, I would say. I feel that self-love was something that was a little bit more important. But this was my self-love care. Just a little drizzle, not much, barely anything, because I was raised to believe choosing myself was selfish, because I was conditioned to prioritize everyone else, because nobody ever asked me, Nicole, how much do you give to you? That right here was my truth. Look at that. Nothing. And this one, soul love. One little drop. I didn't even know this existed. I didn't know there was a love deeper than self-care. And actually, it was more powerful than self-love. See that? It is a love that remembers who you were before the trauma, before the abandonment, before the survival personality, before the mask, before the little girl in me who learned how to be strong, to be loved. So, with that being said, how much do you take care of yourself? How much do you love yourself? And how much do you pour into your soul? So today I want to talk about these 3 jars because most of us have been walking around empty. Not because we're unworthy, but because nobody ever taught us the difference between self-care, self-love, and soul care. And the fact that I took a soul contract and a heartbreak to teach me the difference. So as I always say, I'm always about soul contracts. You signed a contract before you even touched this physical reality. Not a legal contract, soul contracts. Agreements with people who would come into your life to stretch you, awaken you, hurt you, heal you, and return you back to yourself. And I didn't learn this from being peaceful. I learned this during one of the most painful experiences of my life, I would say. There was someone in my life who I believed was for me, someone I trusted, someone I loved deeply in a way that was very specific. Growing up as the only child in my household, you learn to create siblings out of longing, I would say. Every connection feels sacred. Every familiar energy feels like family. So when I found that sisterhood as an adult, I placed her in that sacred chamber inside me. And when that hurtful experience came, it wasn't a surface level wound. It cracked open the little girl in me who always wanted a sister, but never had one growing up. Earlier, I found out about my other sister, but the pain wasn't just what she did, it was what she represented. It was betrayal wrapped in a childhood longing, but during one meditation, one that changed my soul, I saw us together before this lifetime, in the other realms, soul to soul, choosing roles, choosing lessons, choosing evolution. And I realized she didn't hurt me because she hated me. She hurt me because she loved me on a soul level, enough to play this role that would return me back to myself. Through her, I learned discernment, boundaries, trusting energy over wounds, leaving when my soul whispered, leave, speaking my truth, that self-love is protection and not selfishness. But most of all, I learned me. And here's the part that we never want to admit. The contract wasn't one-sided. I participated in it as well. To feel the depths of pain that I felt, I had to ignore my intuition. I had to overgive. I had to shrink. I had to silence myself. I had to hope that she would become the person that I needed. And I'm sure she felt the same way. I became the girl who didn't yet know how to truly choose herself. Now, soul contracts require participation. Nobody hurts us alone. We all agree on a soul level to elevate each other, no matter what that may look like. And from that experience, guess what? I gained wisdom and parts of myself back. And you know what else I've actually noticed? There is this shame around self-love. Not because we don't deserve it, but because we were programmed to see it as selfish. Raised to be a caregiver, raised to put ourselves last, raised to abandon ourselves. Shame became the leash, I would say. Don't choose yourself. Don't be too much. Don't take up space. But the real betrayal that I'm starting to understand is betraying yourself. And what I've actually come to understand about these three here is that self-care is external, self-love is internal, and soul love is eternal. Self-care regulates you, self-love rebuilds you, and I think soul love remembers you. Soul love is the love you carried before, I would say, your wounds, your masks, your childhood roles and identities, right? This is the love that your soul has for you beyond this lifetime. Many soul contracts were designed not to teach self-love, but to activate soul love, the love that sees your purpose, your expansion, your evolution. And what I've also come to understand is that self-love isn't routine. It's a spiritual remembrance. It's the moment that your soul whispers, I refuse to abandon myself again. When that moment comes, timelines shift, patterns dissolve, cycles end, contracts become complete. Because you finally learn what you've incarnated to learn. Because at the end of it all, for me, I was reenacting a childhood longing through adult relationships. And that wound was my teacher. So let me ask you, what part of you have you starved in order to nurture everyone else? And what would happen, what would truly happen if you loved yourself the way you loved people who don't even deserve your softness? Guess what? Your life changes when your self-relationship changes. And that begins the moment you remember. Everyone teaches you something, but only you can free you.